George Gurdjieff is primarily known for creating and teaching a system of self-development which his student called the fourth way or the work. Its aim was to awaken a people from a hypnotic state of waking sleep to a higher, a unified consciousness. And one thing, Gurdjieff had learned a particular method from the gypsies, and these methods were very crude, very difficult, and not at all applying to Westerners accustomed to comfort and luxury. So those who came to him would immediately leave upon seeing his methods. First of all, he would feed people. He was a great cook and with a very unusual food. Things Westerners had never heard of. He had learned to prepare a strange dishes with strange spices from different gypsies group. His entire monastery near Paris, where he lived, was filled with food, spices, wine, all kinds of medicine. These were his method. He would force people to eat until they vomiting. He would force people to drink until they fell to the ground and started bubbling nonsense. And he would sit and listen to what they were saying, because what they were saying was more truthful than what they said when they were sober. It was a very crude form of psychoanalysis. He would make people digging trenches in the ground all day long in the scorching sun. People who had never worked before were digging trenches. People who were philosophers, professor of philosophy. They had only worked with books and libraries. They were not a labor, but they were digging. The master would walk around watching all the disciples digging trenches, and in the evening, when the trenches were finished, he would say, "Now fill the trenches back in, restore them to the same condition they were in before you started digging." Now by evening, they would be completely exhausted. Some would even faint from exhaustion, and when they fainted, he would look at their face. Some would succeed. They would experience a strange phenomenon. When they were completely exhausted, he would keep insisting, "Don't worry, keep going," and they would still obey him, which was difficult. Then suddenly someone would feel, when the exhaustion reached its peak, a new energy would suddenly burst forth, and they would feel as fresh as they felt in the morning. What happened? He was teaching that you have three layers of energy. The first layer is for everyday work. It gets executed very easily. Exhaust it's completely. And if you exhaust it's completely, the second layer will immediately come up and you will be filled with fresh energy as you have never felt before. If you continue working for a month together, one day the second layer will also be executed. Then the third layer, which is inexhaustible, which is the life itself, will come out from within you. You will see that you have an infinity source of energy. But this is a very old method. I can do it in 6 minutes. Gurdjieff took 6 years to do it. Just the bullock cart method. Certainly, he didn't appeal much to Western intellectuals. A very few people, not more than 12 or at most 20, lived in his monastery. He had a beautiful campus near Paris. A few miles away, big trees and a large forest and an old monastery abandoned by monk. Now professors, painters, poets, almost half the people in his campus were those who had become interested in him because of his great disciple P.D. Opensky, who was a great mathematician and had a tremendous capacity for expression. I have never seen book as well written as P.D. Opensky books. Every sentence of his is so concise. There's so much to tell. It was because of Opensky. Opensky had a school in London that people were attracted, and then he would send them to Gurdjieff, and from there 90% of them would run away within 24 hours. That man was crazy. No food all day. You had to work hard all day, execute your energy, and at night he would make these strange meals that weren't good for your stomach. So their gatherings were very strange gatherings. Someone is vomiting, someone is lying unconscious, foaming at the mouth. Someone is saying something and nobody understands what he's saying. Only Gurdjieff was conscious. Everyone else was unconscious. First food, then drink and strong alcohol, not soft wine that you drink to relax. It wasn't for relaxing. It was to turn you inside out. The next morning, when you wake up, surrounded by all sorts of strange people who were shouting, screaming, vomiting, you better get out the door before Gurdjieff catch you again.